In the market for a new home and wondering how much you can afford, what's too much, what's not enough? You want that big house but not sure if you can afford it? Well, we'll keep watching for all of the information on how to know how much home you can afford. Hey guys, Kathleen Cooper Sposato here, Sposato Realty Group, coming to you today to talk about how much home you can afford. So you're not sure what you can buy. Maybe you are buying your first home and you've never gone through the process before, or maybe you're selling a home that you already own and want to buy a bigger one or a smaller one, and you're trying to determine what you could afford comfortably. I'm here today to go over all of the things that you can take into consideration when you are buying a new home. So first and foremost, you're going to take into consideration your income. What is income? What's counted as income? Income is anything that you can show the lender documented. So it could be your salary plus commissions plus any bonuses, as long as it's documented. If it's something that's under the table, that's not going to count. If you get paid in cash and you don't report it to the IRS, that's not going to count either. So any income that's been documented that you can prove with pay stubs or with taxes. That's what they're going to want to see, and that's the number one thing that they're going to check into when they're trying to figure out your eligibility and how much home you can afford. The next piece of the puzzle is going to be the debt to income ratio. So your lender is going to work with you to take the proposed monthly housing amount that you guys are looking at for whatever you're comfortable with, what you think you're comfortable with for your monthly housing, and they're going to take that and they're going to divide it by your gross before taxes income, and that's where they're going to get your front own debt to income ratio. Then they're going to also go over your back end ratio, which is going to include your monthly revolving expenses and the proposed mortgage payment that you're looking at, and divide that by the gross income that you take in. Those together are going to tell the lender what your debt to income ratios are and see if you are a match for different types of loans that they have to offer. The next thing to factor in is going to be all of your debt. Anything monthly that you have revolving, your car payment, your credit card payments, all those things added up, that's going to show your revolving debt. Your revolving debt is going to determine how much you can borrow and how much they're willing to lend to you every month. One important thing to note is that your monthly obligations, such as your cable bill, your cell phone bill, your groceries, are not taken into consideration when going over the debt to income ratio. So you're going to want to keep those in mind when you're doing your own personal budget and figuring out how much you can afford, because that's not something that's included in the debt to income. So it's a little added percentage of your income being taken away to those things. So you might want to look at that first before you really go into buying a house. I know when my husband and I first were looking for our first home together, we cut out a lot of things that we didn't need that were revolving every month, like such as Apple Music and what else? So we got rid of cable, and that's when we cut the cord and went to, back then it was, I think, PlayStation TV, and that went away, so now we have YouTube TV. But we could start streaming online and just finding a cheaper alternative to a lot of things that we were splurging on before when we were renters. Now, if you're putting less than 20% down for your loan purchase, you are going to need mortgage insurance. So anybody that has less than 20% equity in their home is going to have private mortgage insurance. So that is another thing that's going to directly affect your monthly payment and how much you can afford. So definitely talk to your lender about that and see if you are working towards not having any PMI and putting down 20%, or if there's some kind of special loan program you qualify for to where you don't have the mortgage insurance. But typically, if you are going to be getting a loan and not putting more 20% or more in, you are going to have that mortgage insurance. If you are buying a condo, or maybe you're buying a home in a subdivision that has a homeowners association, you may have a monthly homeowners association fee. Another thing to factor in when you're trying to figure out how much you can afford, you do not want to overlook that. Some condos have a monthly association fee of $100, maybe $150, and some I've seen have it $500 and up. That is definitely going to directly affect how much you can afford. So talk to your realtor about that and make sure to check out, does the place have a association? A lot of the single family homes around here don't have an association. There's just a few exceptions with some subdivisions that might have a very small one. Sometimes they might even only be annually, especially around lakes, but for the most part they don't. You're going to see a homeowners association fee typically in relation to condo purchases. Another thing to factor in is insurance and taxes. So insurance and taxes usually get put into your monthly payment, a portion of it, and some of that goes to your escrow for that. So you're going to want to check with the local insurance agents to see what the average homeowner's insurance in your area is going for. And then as far as the taxes go, you're going to want to watch out online for the different towns that you're looking in. So for instance, a $300,000 home in Sturbridge has usually much higher taxes than a $300,000 home in Spencer. So that's going to directly affect your monthly payment and affect how much you can afford. So definitely watch the taxes on the properties that you're looking at, see how they fall, if they're in the high range or the low range, because that's going to affect your monthly payment a lot. And then also don't forget to factor in the homeowner's insurance that you will need. Lastly, your interest rate and your credit score are going to be the things that directly affect how much you can afford. If you have very strong credit, you get a better interest rate, which will in turn make your loan a little bit less. If you have a worse credit score, you might pay a little bit more on interest, which would make your payments a little more than you would have if you worked on your credit. So definitely talk to your lender and talk to your agent, figure out what's best for you. Should you wait and pay down and get your credit score up a little bit more, or with rates today, they're super low regardless, so it's a great time for buyers. If you have any questions and you are wondering if you can buy, if you can afford it, if you could sell and upgrade or sell and downsize, I'd be happy to discuss. You can always call or text me at 508-444-2673 or visit our website, soldwithsposato.com. You can go online and usually find affordability calculators all over the place if you want to plug in some numbers and figure out what you can afford and what you're comfortable with, or I'd be happy to talk to you and go over it with you before you talk to a mortgage person and then refer you to some great local lenders that would be happy to help you. Please like this video if you found it helpful and subscribe. I will be putting out new videos every Friday and I really appreciate you watching and the support. Have a great day.